Alright, that's the first top 10 best hit songs list for 2019 done. Time for the next one. Let's talk about the best hit songs of 2001. This was the third year of my life and the year I turned 2. I was still too young to be listening to any of the popular music of the time, and most of the songs that I already knew prior to listening through the entire year in Hot 100 list for 2001, I discovered much later at various points throughout my life. For this top 10 list specifically, I'm gonna let you know that 8 out of the 10 songs I chose I had already heard prior to making this video, but 2 songs I had never heard before and listened to for the first time for doing this list. Those numbers are actually the same for the 2000 list as well. I am fairly familiar with the music of this time, as I really do enjoy late 90s, early 2000s mainstream music. Sometimes I wish I'd been born a little earlier, so I could have heard the music of this time back when it was actually popular. But I'm glad I've gotten to hear regardless, and can talk about it in this video, so let's get into that. Just a few notes as always. All the songs from this list are songs that debuted on the 2001 Billboard Year-End Hot 100 list. Don't expect any songs not on the list to be here, nor these 7 songs also made the 2000 list. I will be spoiling songs I put on my previous best and worst hit songs list, especially my 2000 list, so go watch that if you haven't. I'm not going to be doing a worst hit songs of 2001 video, but if you are curious to know what the worst hit songs of 2001 are, here you go. And finally, this list is just my opinion. Don't get mad at me because you don't agree with my picks or their ordering. Let me know in the comments what your favorite hit songs of 2001 are. Alright, let's kick this list off with number 10. Oh boy, we're starting this list off with a throwback. We got a 4-way collaboration between 4 big female artists of the time, which was a cover of the 1974 La Belle song of the same name and used in the soundtrack for the Baz Luhrmann movie Moulin Rouge. However, the cover still holds up perfectly fine on its own. It brings the song into more of an early 2000s R&B/dance/hip-hop sound as opposed to the disco/funk sound of La Belle's original. And all 4 performers, or 5 if you count Missy Elliott, are fantastic here. They all have terrific chemistry here and work off each other very well, especially when they're singing their simultaneous parts in the song, particularly in the final chorus, but each of them still get their own verses to shine a light on themselves. I like how the 4 of them each have very distinct voices and performing styles, and you can easily identify who's who. Maya, handling the first verse and changing the setting from New Orleans to Moulin Rouge, has a very sultry delivery, fitting for an R&B singer. Pink, on the second verse, gives a more soulful performance, with a bit more to her delivery than her predecessor. Lil' Kim, with the added rappers on the bridge, spices up her performance with a bit more raunch. And last but not least, Christina Aguilera nails that final verse with her incredible pipes. I'm really glad this song was chosen to be a 4-way collaboration. Not just because, again, all 4 of the performers work off each other tremendously, but also because they play the part described in the song. I mean, the song is about a prostitute getting together with a guy who saw her on the street. I guess you could say that all 4 of them, playing the part of the performance at the Moulin Rouge, fit into the role of being enticing performers for any men in the audience. It's a very sexually enticing song, and thankfully, it doesn't come off as awkward. That line in the post-chorus, Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir, which is French for, do you want to sleep with me tonight, not only helps to make the song feel more sexy and racy, but also continues to fit with the song's new setting in Moulin Rouge, which is located in France. I mean, sure, New Orleans does have a notable French-speaking population, but France has even more French speakers. It was a genius choice to pick the song to cover for the movie. Fantastic song, and very deserving to hit number 1 on the Hot 100. Je veux écouter cette chanson ce soir. It's a beautiful day. This song almost missed this list altogether, believe it or not. I was just gonna have it be an honorable mention, but upon listening to it again, to come up with stuff to say on it for this video, I decided it deserved to be on the list itself. I feel like this is a song that everyone puts in their top 10 best hit songs of 2001 list, and I'd definitely be remiss to not put it on mine as well. It's a song by U2, possibly the most popular and iconic song to come out of Ireland, who've been gracing radio stations for over 40 years. And while not as iconic as With or Without You, or I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, Beautiful Day is still a very good U2 song. It's got a very uplifting sound, thanks to that electronic piano that starts off the song before the chorus comes in, and the guitars, drums, and Bono's vocals really make the song rock more, while still remembering to not sound overpowering. And that uplifting sound fits with the lyrics about still feeling joyous and happy despite facing lots of misfortune. Don't let all the bad things that have happened to you, whether it's having no vacancy to rent in town or being stuck in traffic, bring you down. Just enjoy the beautiful day regardless. That's very relatable, and I can sure relate to that message. I'm sure a lot of others can too. What you don't have, you don't need the moment. Just enjoy the current moment with what you have and find grace in the world. Look on the positive side of things and take pleasure in the little joys of life. It's very inspirational, and it's definitely meant to lift the spirit of the listener. And thankfully, it doesn't come off as cheesy. I can definitely see why this song would end up becoming one of U2's biggest hits, and chart in the top 10 in every country charted in. Except the USA, strangely. Yeah, for some reason, songs by European acts that were huge in Europe often underperformed in the USA by comparison. I'll talk about another example of such much later on. But hey, at least the song became a hit in the USA at all, and would go on to win 3 Grammy Awards for Song of the Year, Record of the Year, and Best Rock Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocal. And while I probably won't go back to the song as readily as I would some of the other songs in this list, even some of this list contenders I didn't think were quite as good as this one, I do still think it's a very good song that deserves those Grammy wins and its placement among the best hit songs of 2001. Go listen to the song if you haven't. I think you too will enjoy it.
Stand here until you make me move. A million by a moment you will feel.
Just like the year 2000, 2001 was another year where the #1 biggest hit of the year was a song that didn't end up hitting #1 the Hot 100 and only got to #2. Though unlike Breathe by Faith Hill from the 2000 list, the biggest hit of 2001 isn't just an honorable mention, it is actually making the list proper. One genre of music that began to grow in popularity in the early 2000s and was huge throughout the early to mid-2000s was post-grunge, and there were several post-grunge bands that were hugely popular around the time. One of them was Creed, although most people don't look back on Creed's music very fondly. Another one was Nickelback, although their breakout hit, How You Remind Me, only made the 2002 year-end list, so I won't be talking about them in this video. And another one was Lifehouse. While it seems that Lifehouse aren't remembered as well as those two other post-grunge bands, just like Nickelback did in 2002, they ended up getting the biggest hit song of the year with Hanging by a Moment. I love the build-up to the crescendo with a muted electric guitar on the first verse, then another guitar on the first chorus, then a drum beat on the second verse, before the full instrumentation comes on the second chorus, along with Jason Wade belting, as opposed to his quieter, reserved singing voice we heard earlier. It sounds awesome, and really helps to make the song rock harder when the second chorus comes. But I think the song's strongest aspect are the lyrics, being about taking a chance on falling in love with someone. You're letting go of all you previously had because you're desperate for change and need something new to fulfill your life. You're not sure what you're diving into exactly, but you have nothing else to lose, so you might as well accept the invitation you're being given. A bit of a unique angle for a love song, especially one that would end up becoming a mainstream hit. You know, these lyrics, especially the first two lines, desperate for changing, starving for truth, sort of remind me of a song you hear from a Christian rock band. With some lyrical tweaks, I can see this song being sung by a band at a church service, being about finding God instead of finding a partner. But as it is, it's still a great song that works as it is. These lyrics are very well written and quite poetic, although the song wasn't the most poetic song to be a hit in the year 2001. You wanna know what was?
Where the day flows, only time.
Here's a song I don't think many people expected would be a hit. Enya isn't exactly the kind of artist who makes music a tune for mainstream radio or for a pop audience. She's a new age artist who, true, did have a few songs join the Hot 100 before this one, and even scored a handful of top 10 and top 20 hits in her home country of Ireland, but still generally doesn't make music for a mainstream pop listening audience. Typically, her audience is reserved for people who regularly do yoga or meditate. It's the kind of music you relax to, not dance or sing along to, at least not the same way you sing along to pop songs. Just like Desert Rose, which I talked about in my best hit songs of 2000 list, it's a very atmospheric song that you wouldn't think would cross over to the American mainstream, but somehow, it did end up becoming a hit here, picking number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 in late 2001, mostly due to a remix version released in 2001, used during media coverage of the September 11 attacks. I should clarify that for this list, I am mainly talking about the original version of the song from Enya's 2000 album, A Day Without Rain, which I actually do slightly prefer over the remix, which is just a slightly sped up version of the original with an added drum beat. I will say, Only Time is a very pleasant song. This song definitely makes me understand why so many yoga practitioners and meditators love her music. It is a very relaxing song that, just like Desert Rose, has an almost ambient sound to it. It's a song that you can close your eyes and listen to and imagine being in a different place. A very peaceful, quiet, serene place. Even the lyrics invoke that blissful feeling, being about how only time will tell if you ever fall in love with someone. Who knows where the road goes? Who knows if you'll start feeling love? Who knows why your heart sighs? Only time will tell. That's true. Only time will tell what the future holds and what it means for your future love life. As is a new age song to meditate to, it's a song that really lets you listen closely to the lyrics, which sound very poetic. And those gentle strings combined with Enya's soft, echoey vocals only evoke that feeling of ecstasy more. It may be unorthodox for a top 10 song, but it's still a great one regardless. Who could see what's even higher on this list? Only Time.
I'm like a bird, I only fly away. I don't know where my soul is.
Hey look, it's the fourth song on this list to have technically been released in the year 2000 instead of 2001, and this time it's from a Canadian artist. It's always a treat when I can talk about Canadian artists, in this case Nelly Furtado. While I wasn't a huge fan of Furtado's other 2001 hit, Turn Out the Light, I do really like I'm Like a Bird. Like the previous song on this list, it's got another atmospheric sound that you could close your eyes and imagine yourself being in a very serene environment. I mean, the song is called I'm Like a Bird. I can imagine taking place in a grassy meadow decorated with flowers, and imagine birds flying through the air while feeling a slight cool breeze on your skin. It's definitely not as ambient as Only Time though, and it's definitely more akin to a song you hear on mainstream radio, especially with the typical pop song structure that it employs. Despite that though, it still does slip in some more atmospheric sounds, most notably those pleasant strings that start off the song, and even the lyrics sound rather poetic, especially in that chorus. Beyond the simile that the song is titled after, where Furtado compares herself to a bird and follows it up by saying that she only flies away, she also says that she doesn't know where her soul or home is. It's a song about how, despite how much she loves her partner, she feels like she is going to have to eventually say goodbye to them. After all, her partner doesn't know her very well, and she might end up going through changes in the future. It's not a typical love song, it's a song about anticipating a future mutual breakup. And although she doesn't know where she'll be going after the relationship eventually ends, she still wants her partner to know that she loves them, and that feeling will never fade away. She doesn't necessarily want to leave them, but she does feel deep down that it might just be for the best to do so. It's a very pretty song, both musically and lyrically, and one that I could imagine bringing a tear to someone. But even those who aren't listening closely to the lyrics can still enjoy singing along to it and admiring the chill sound of it. And while Nelly Furtado doesn't have the best vocal range, I think I'm Like a Birdman just to showcase her at her most vocally impressive. The song fits her vocals very well. It may just be Nelly Furtado's best song. It's certainly one of the best hits of the year, and I'm glad it became a hit. Great song.
Now you're dressed in black. When I left you were dressed in white. Can you feel me?
And now we have a song courtesy of Craig David. For those who don't know, he's a British R&B singer who was a lot more popular in his home country than he was in the USA. But yet, he did have 3 songs from his debut album Born to Do It chart on the Hot 100, including his debut single as a lead artist, Fill Me In. This song was technically released in April 2000 in his native UK, making yet another song on this list technically released in 2000 instead of 2001. But it took a little over a year to be released in America, and about a year and a half to reach its peak there. Same with the other 2 singles from Born to Do It the chart on the Hot 100. But anyway, Fill Me In is a nice piece of R&B and two-step garage that sounds catchy, while still remembering its urban roots, similar to Say My Name from the Best Hits of 2000 list. The two-step garage beat and processed vocals also help it sound more upbeat, but still chill enough to not sound out of place with the other R&B music of the time. However, the song's biggest strength lies within its lyrics, talking about 2 young people in love with each other and their parents being suspicious about what's going on. It's not quite a Romeo and Juliet story, where their parents have forbidden them from being together and they're meeting in secret. It's more so commentating on helicopter parenting. The lyrics are very cleverly written. The first verse talks about the girl inviting the guy over to her house while her parents are away. When she meets the guy at the door, she's dressed in a black dress and pouring a glass of wine. After the guy comes in, the girl tells the guy that she has a jacuzzi, so they go in it, with all phone calls going to the answering machine. Then the first chorus, the girl's parents reference things from the first verse. Why are you dressed in black now? You were dressed in white when we left. How come we called home and went to the answering machine? Why is the wine bottle half empty? How come when we got home at midnight, the jacuzzi was turned on? Can you fill us in? And the second verse and chorus are very similar. It's a very well-written song, and I like how it emphasizes that the guy and girl were never deliberately trying to break their rules or confuse their parents. They're just doing what young people in love do. It's not outright irresponsible. And to top things off, Craig David's smooth R&B voice and rapid syllable singing on the verses helps make it sound very nice. I've just filled you in on why the song is great and why you should listen to it if you haven't.
Tell me, did the wind sweep you off your feet? Did you finally get the chance to dance?
It's always kind of funny when a song's year-end position is higher than its actual peak on the Hot 100. I already mentioned Hanging by a Moment, which was number 1 on the 2001 year-end list, despite only peaking number 2. Well, here's a song that's number 4 on the year-end list, despite only peaking number 5. And what do you know? It's number 4 on my list too. And I'm so glad this is one of the top 5 biggest hits of the year, because Drops of Jupiter Tell Me by Train is a freaking awesome song. I know some people don't like Train, whether it's due to overplay or how cheesy some of their songs could be. That being said, Drops of Jupiter Tell Me is the one song of theirs that everybody loves, and it's not hard to see why. It's a great sweeping pop rock song that just sounds awesome thanks to its instrumentation. Starting off with the piano at the start, we then get the guitars and strings on the first chorus, and then the drums after that first chorus. It's upbeat, but more in a pleasant foot-tapping way, rather than a makes you want to get up and dance sort of way. But then again, you could dance to it. The strings, as well as Pat Monahan's swung singing voice, does make it feel like a song people could dance to at a wedding, which actually fits the lyrics pretty well. It's a song about asking someone if they've fallen for someone, or if they miss you. Did you find what you were looking for? Was everything beautiful, or not so much? It's a song about asking someone if they want to be with you, but in a subtle, more poetic way. Wow, 2001 really was a year for songs with poetic lyrics, wasn't it? The outer space references throughout the lyrics, most notably with the Drops of Jupiter line in the title lyric, really help the song stand out and fit with the sweeping sound of it. I think my favorite lyric in the entire song is on the first and third chorus, which goes, "Did you make it to the Milky Way to see the lights all faded, and that heaven is overrated? I guess what you thought would be heaven wasn't as wonderful as you thought it would be, and maybe it's better to stay here instead." At the same time, though, the lyrics aren't coercive or manipulative. The way it's framed with someone asking questions about how things have gone gives them a chance to answer one way or the other and make a decision. And with a song that sounds this grand, I'd say you'd be a fool to not see that this is better than what you previously experienced. That's what I'd reply to. Tell me.
The love that we share. Oh, I'm already there.
The next 2 songs on this list are country ballads. Starting off, we have the best song by a band to be a hit in the year 2001, courtesy of Lone Star. Their previous hit, 2000's What About Now, was actually contended for my best hit songs of 2000 list. Unfortunately, it didn't quite make the list. It would have been the top 20 though. However, I'm Already There couldn't be any more different from What About Now if it tried. It's arguably the most heartfelt song to be a hit in 2001. It's a song about a man calling his wife from a hotel room miles away from home just to hear his wife say, "I love you" to him because he misses her so dearly. He tears up when he hears his kids laughing in the background. Then, one of his kids takes over the phone and asks, "Daddy, when you coming home?" In response, he tells his child that he's already there. He's a shadow on the ground. He's a whisper in the wind. He's their imaginary friend. Rather than saying soon or something, he says something more comforting, perhaps to have them pretend like their daddy is already home. The man's wife then takes back the phone and tells her husband that she misses him and not to worry about the kids, but that she wishes she was next to him. The man tells his wife, just like he told his child, that he's already there. He's a beating in her heart. He's the moonlight shining down. The love the two of them share is still strong. They may be 1,000 miles apart, but a part of him is still with his wife. It reminds me a lot of Even Though I'm Leaving by Luke Combs, which topped my top 10 best songs of 2020 list. That was another heartfelt country song about assuring someone that even though they're not physically with them, they're not gone. They're still with them in their heart. And like that song, it's another song that tells a story in its lyrics. Maybe not as memorable or bittersweet as that song, but still a very well written and emotional one. And the song makes the most of the heartfelt emotions with its gentle piano throughout the song, and later accompanied with guitars and drums on the first verse, and building up to a powerful crescendo on the final chorus. It hits even harder than the crescendo on Hanging by a Moment did. Even Richie McDonald's vocals sound very pleading when he sings that chorus, as if he's the man who can't wait to come back home and reunite with his family. It's such an emotional song, and one of the year's absolute best. You want me to get to the biggest tearjerker in the 2001 year-end list? I'm already there.
I don't know why they say grown men don't cry.
And here's another emotional country ballad, and also the best country song to be a hit in 2001. Like the song I just talked about, Grown Men Don't Cry by Tim McGraw is yet another fantastic country song that could certainly hit hard. While I definitely wouldn't call the song upbeat, its tempo is a bit faster than I'm Already There, and it's a song that's a bit easier to go back to than that song, hence why I edged out I'm Already There as the better of the two songs. It was pretty close though. Like the previous song, this one offers some pretty emotional lyrics. In the first verse, the song's protagonist encounters a homeless woman with her son at the shopping center. Just that morning, he'd been thinking about how hard his life was, but now he's encountering someone whose life is even harder. Thanks to bad decisions, this woman and her son are living in their car, and the clothes they're wearing are all the clothes they own. Then the second verse, he reminisces about his late father. He imagines being 10 years old and watching the sunset and talking to his dad on the porch, something that never actually happened because his dad was always busy with work and was never around. He wishes he could talk to his father, but all he could do is place a flower on his grave and talk to the wind. And in the final verse, he talks about being with his wife and kids and how much he's thankful for. Unlike the woman in the first verse, he actually has a house to live in and lots of clothes to wear. And all the heavy thoughts in his mind disappear when he hears his daughter ask for a bedtime story and say that she loves her dad. And on the chorus after each verse, he says he doesn't know why they say that grown men don't cry. Each of these scenarios, seeing a homeless mother and his son, realizing he never got to spend much time with his father or tell him what he wants to say to him, and being able to tuck his daughter in at night and hear her say, "I love you, Dad," does make him want to cry. And I don't blame him. These are all heartfelt moments, and the gentle twangy guitar and little bits of piano combined with Tim McGraw's fatherly mature voice really fit with it. While the instrumentation of the previous song on this list elicits more heartfelt feelings than this one, despite the song having the word cry in the title, it still sounds very emotional. It's okay, Tim McGraw. I won't blame you for crying despite being a grown man. You're a fantastic songwriter and performer, and you deliver one of the best hit songs of the year, but not quite the number one best. But before I get to what actually was the number one best hit song of 2001, let's go through some honorable mentions.
Follow me, everything is alright. I'll be the one to tuck you in at night.
This song was actually going to be number 10 on the list, but I decided that Beautiful Day was better. Anyway, here's a nice little bit of country and soft rock with a pleasant guitar melody, including that electric guitar solo on the bridge, that knows not to sound too loud or heavy. It knows how to keep its soft rock sound while still sounding upbeat enough to tap your foot to, fitting with the lyrics about Uncle Kracker telling an unfaithful partner to follow him, and assuring them that everything will be alright so long as they're with him. Yeah, maybe the lyrics are justifying cheating, and yeah, Uncle Kracker has a limited vocal range, but it's still pleasant enough that I can overlook the questionable lyrics here. I'll follow this song, and everything is alright.
I can be your hero, baby.
Hey look, it's Enrique Iglesias again. He topped my best hit songs of 2000 list with Be With You, and he managed to deliver another really good song. Unfortunately, this song just missed my list, and it almost missed the 2000 year-end list too, being number 99 due to be released toward the end of the year. But I'm glad it just made it on because it's a really great ballad about how you can be someone's hero and asking them questions about what they do when you do certain actions. The power ballad build-up, gentle guitar on the bridge, choir vocals on the final chorus, and Enrique's emotional vocals make it sound like he's crying really emphasize that beautiful ballad sound. Not as great as Be With You, but still very good. Here's a nice nice little slice of R&B and dance pop, courtesy of Janet Jackson, and one that became the third biggest hit of the entire year. It certainly is a groovy song with elements of funk, mostly due to that sample from the 1980 song by Change, The Glow of Love. Janet's breathy, funky vocals really make her sound like a 70s soul singer and reminds the audience that she's a member of the Jacksons. Even the bit of autotune on her voice in the chorus doesn't sound out of place. It helps make the song sound throwbackish but also contemporary. And the lyrics about showing off her body and telling a potential partner that's all for you if you really want it certainly sounds sexy. This song, it's all for me.
But she caught me on the counter.
Wasn't me.
Saw me banging on the sofa.
It wasn't me.
This is one of two songs by Jamaican singer Shaggy to hit #1 in the year 2000, and the one that's remembered way more and gone to become Shaggy's most well-known song. It's a song about a man, played by Rick Rock, whose girlfriend caught him cheating on her with another girl, so he goes to his friend, played by Shaggy, to ask for advice on what to do, and the friend tells him to deny everything and just say, "It wasn't me." Like Follow Me, I can see some people hating these lyrics, especially since it's a song about cheating, but the upbeat sound and bridge where the man decides he's actually going to own up for what he did, forgive it, and make it enjoyable for me.
Here's to the nights we felt alive. Here's to the tears you knew you'd cry.
I'm a little surprised this song even made the 2001 year-end list, especially considering it only peaked at number 30 on the Hot 100. That's actually lower than Eve 6's other top 40 hit, 1998's Inside Out, which didn't make the 1998 year-end list. But I'm actually glad that Here's Tonight did make the 2001 year-end list. It's a great pop rock ballad about raising a toast to the past and longing for the time when you were with your partner and not wanting tomorrow to come. It's a very nostalgic song that could be interpreted as breaking up with your partner and remembering all the good times you had with them, or having to face adulthood and no longer being young and partying. Either way, it's a very pleasant song that's worth a listen. And that's 5 honorable mentions. Now let's talk about 5 ineligible honorable mentions. Songs that didn't make the 2001 year-end list and were technically eligible for this list, but would have been on it if they had. Sometimes there's songs that didn't quite chart high enough on the Hot 100 to make the year-end list. Sometimes they didn't chart on the Hot 100 at all, but were hits elsewhere in the world. And sometimes they weren't hits anywhere, but damn, I wish they would have been, because they're great songs. Here's 5 ineligible honorable mentions for the year 2001. Just a heads up, like with songs that actually made the year-end list, some of the songs in these ineligible honorable mentions sections weren't released in the year each video is on. Breathless by The Corrs was technically released in 2000, not 2001, but 2001 was the year the song charted in the USA, albeit not high enough to make the year-end list, which is a damn shame because it's a fantastic song. It's got a catchy pop rock melody, an upbeat sunny sound that gives me the impression of someone frolicking a meadow on a bright sunny day, and lyrics about being in love with someone and not wanting the loving feeling to stop. This song, it leaves me breathless.
Now let me show you the shape of my heart.
And here's another song that was technically released in 2000, not 2001. And honestly, that's the main reason the song didn't make either year-end list, despite hitting the top 10. Sometimes, songs released toward the end of the year end up getting caught in between the winners of that year and the next, and due to their popularity being split between 2 years, aren't quite popular enough in either year to make either year-end list. Again, it's a shame because Shape Up My Heart is another great ballad courtesy of the Backstreet Boys, who always manage to make every ballad they release slap, thanks to their great vocal performances and heartfelt lyrics. Not quite their best, but this song still deserves some praise.
Hear me tonight, 'cause my feeling is just so right.
You know, there were a lot of house and techno tracks that were top 10 hits in other countries like the UK, but not in America. Maybe it's because American radio stations were hesitant to play music that sounded more at home at the club. One such example is Lady Hear Me Tonight by Mojo, which was a huge hit around the world. It peaked in the top 10 every country it charted in, except the USA, where it only peaked at number 81. That's a real shame because it's a fantastic house and disco track. I love the infectiously catchy groove, sampled from Chic's 1982 song Super One, that makes even your lizard want to dance to it. This song's feeling is just so right. And here's another great house track courtesy of a French electronic duo. Again, electronic music always underperformed in the USA in the 90s and 2000s compared to other countries. While Daft Punk did have a song chart on the Hot 100 in 2001 with One More Time, I personally like Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, More, thanks to another great house groove and catchy melody. The vocals sound robotic, but not plastic, perfect for a song that came out shortly after the new millennium. I'm sure most of you watching probably know the song more for that early viral video Daft Hands, or being sampled in Kanye West's 2007 song Stronger, but also stands on its own as a great track too. Check it out.
Something about the ocean makes me rise up and raise.
I'm gonna be honest, Ocean by 10 Shekel Shirt is one of my absolute favorite songs of all time. It's possibly my favorite Christian song of all time, thanks to the gentle guitars that still sound just as calm and inviting when they hit that great crescendo on the chorus, Lambent Hybrid's pleasant vocal performance, and a warm inviting sound that can bring a smile to even the most hardcore atheist. It gives me the feeling of standing on the beach at dawn, watching the sun slowly rise over the water, and feeling the warmth of the sun hit you. Very fitting for a song titled Ocean. It's one of the very few songs that I legit think is 10 out of 10 good, and I don't get that rating often. Something about this song makes me rise up in praise. But now, let's talk about a song that actually did make the 2001 Year on Hot 100 list, and is my actual number 1 for the list. The number 1 best hit song of 2001.
I never had a dream come true till the day that I found you.
This was certainly a surprise. I didn't expect the song to be my number 1 pick. I had heard the song a few times before listening through all the eligible songs for 2001. I figured the song was probably going to make the list, but I didn't expect it to top the whole list. But when I re-listened to this song for this video, it ended up being even better than I remembered, and I knew right then and there upon listening to it that this was going to be my number 1. This was S Club 7's only song to cross over to the United States. Despite being way bigger in their home country, the UK, and having several number 1 songs there, including this song, as well as Bring It All Back from my Best Hit Songs of 1999 video, only one of their singles managed to chart in America, which is a shame. I said in the Best Hit Songs of 1999 video that I would have preferred Bring It All Back to be their only North American crossover hit song instead of this song. I'm not so sure I stand by this statement anymore. Upon reevaluation, I've decided that Never Had a Dream Come True is even better than Bring It All Back. I still believe that Bring It All Back is much more representative of S Club 7's typical output. It is a fantastic upbeat pop song that I'm still bummed never made to this side of the Atlantic. In fact, me talking about that song in the Best Hit Songs of 1999 video, despite not being eligible for the list, is one of the reasons I decided to create the ineligible honorable mention sections for these Best Hit Songs of 2019 videos. One song I originally intended to be an ineligible honorable mention for 2001 was Don't Stop Movin', another upbeat S Club 7 song that hit number 1 in the UK. However, Never Had a Dream Come True is one of S Club 7's ballads, and just like the Backstreet Boys, S Club 7 are capable of making fantastic upbeat dancey songs and great heartfelt ballads too. I dare say the song is even better than the Backstreet Boys' best ballads. That may be a hot take, but yes, I like Never Had a Dream Come True more than I Wanted That Way. It's got a sweet, gentle sound that just sounds absolutely beautiful. That guitar that almost sounds like a harp playing the melody at the beginning of the song has a very heavenly sound to it, and the piano, strings, and twinkling sounds that play throughout the rest of the song give the song a very dreamlike quality, fitting with the song's title. Like I Want It That Way, it manages to not sound boring despite the slow tempo. This song could have honestly worked as a stripped-back piano ballad, but I really do like the use of additional instruments here. They give the song a great feeling of grandeur. It's soft enough to make the sound very pleasant and dreamy, but still loud enough to hit a crescendo. Todd in the Shadows was just being a sourpuss. I love the sound of this song, and that sound perfectly fits with the lyrics about not being over a breakup. Even though you pretend that you've moved on, you still long for the time when you were with your previous partner. The regret of breaking up with them continues to grow deeper, and you lose your sense of time since all you can think about is yesterday. You never had a dream come true till the day you met them, and come what may in the future, a part of you will always be with them. These lyrics bands should not sound cheesy or melodramatic, and sound very poetic. Man, there sure were a lot of poetic songs to be hits in 2001. It seems to fit with the dreamy quality and dream-related lyrics. After all, time is meaningless when you're in a dream, and you've lost track of time and can't move on to tomorrow because all you can think about is your past. It's a song that, like I'm Already There, I can honestly imagine bringing a tear to someone's eyes. But yet, the song's overall sound isn't sad per se. The major key sound gives it a very tender sort of sound. It's heartfelt but not depressing. The dreamlike quality of the song gives me the impression of someone in a bright white glowing dream, seeing their ex-partner in the distance and running toward them in slow motion with their arms in front of them, but as soon as they're close enough to touch them, their partner fades away. This imagery adds to the song's dreamlike post-breakup sound and lyrics. Add to that Joel Mira's great vocals and a breathtaking key change, and you get an absolutely beautiful song. Maybe not quite as good as a key change on I Want It That Way, but a very good one regardless. You know what? I actually am glad this is the one song of S Club 7 that managed to break into America. I still wish it would have had a few more crossover American hits. Don't Stop Moving would have also made my top 10 best song of 2000 if it had crossed over as well, but the one song of theirs that charted in America and that most Americans have heard is still utterly fantastic. Much like the regret of the protagonist in this song, my love for this song grew with time, and I can't think of any other song to name as the number 1 best hit song of 2001. I Never Had a Dream Come True till the day that I heard it. And that's the top 10 best hit songs of 2001. Next list is the best hit songs of 2002, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching and take care.